All right. Let's get started one more time. What's up, everyone? Welcome to our 14th community call. Thank you, Serena, for that wonderful music. I can never get tired of it. So thank you. I know it's been a while since we've had our last community call. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and we've had a lot going on here in the Solv community in the past 2 weeks. A big thing that you all know about was the launch of the Dream Panel series, where we've been hosting events right here in Solv Discord to introduce leading builders, the apps, and protocols across all sectors in the blockchain industry right now. And our team is thrilled to bring these incredible panel events to you as often as once and even twice a week, so you can learn about the coolest projects and connect in real time with the leading builders of those projects. So please definitely stay tuned. Most importantly, though, Solv Protocol is on track to collaborating with many of the speakers we invite to the Dream panels in the near term, which is all the more reasons why you should stay on top of the program. All the announcements can be found in the upcoming channel of this server. We'll make sure to tag everyone whenever an event is up, so you will not miss it. Just wanted to quickly go over a few things before I introduce the guests that joined us today. First thing first, Solv Protocol just had its first birthday on June 17th, 2022. It's a shame that I personally wasn't be able to be around when the team cut the cake. But I heard the cake was pretty delicious, which made me feel even worse that I wasn't around for that. But June 17th is a pretty big deal for Solv Protocol, as it marked the first anniversary for the protocol's deployment to the Ethereum mainnet. And if you've been around the Solv community for long enough, you should be aware of the grand giveaway campaign we're holding for this occasion. I know we've already sort of passed the actual anniversary now, but the actual campaign runs all the way through the end of this month, when the winners of the 1500 giveaway will be announced. And in early July, we'll hold out a raffle prize pool worth $1,500 to $2,000 for the same group of winners. So if you're a late entrance, good news, you still have a chance to go at it. And being here with us today is the first step toward that. Again, for any updates regarding the ongoing campaigns, please check out the upcoming channel. You will find everything you need to know in there. Okay, moving on. Last week, we've officially submitted our offer to the Lido community to help the Lido DAO raise 10 million in stablecoin. This market condition has hurt many protocols, I'm sure you are all aware. And Lido's treasury, a large portion of which consists of Ether, so it's taken quite a hit. Our team worked very hard to prepare this proposal to help the DAO go through this rough time for everyone, really. And so far, this proposal has gotten valuable feedback from the Lido's community, and we're hoping that it moves forward as more people come and see and learn what sort of solution Solv Protocol is providing to the DAO's financing landscape. Again, if you're here for the first time, the bond voucher is the first on-chain bond product that helped 6 projects raise a total of over 20 million in liquid assets over the course of 3 months. We're all very proud of the track record it's building. And if you're a retail investor, the APR for a typical bond voucher usually averages around 7 to 10% with a 3-month maturity. Of course, none of this is ever set in stone. We actually welcome projects issuing the debt through Solv to work creatively around those numbers. So we do have found projects as well as retail investors most comfortable with these benchmarks as far as the bond voucher is concerned. And speaking of which, we've had 2 new issuances over the past 2 weeks. First on June 10th, and by Solv Protocol, the amount I believe was 4 million, and the other one was by Perpetual Protocol. who raised another $3 million following their early convertible voucher launch in February. Both launches were unsurprisingly sold out minutes after the listing. Remember, the bond market in TradFi is over $119 trillion in volume. So it's actually not surprising that the whole on-chain bond is a out with the old, in with the new type of deal for the TradFi bond. And we should expect to see the continuing of this strong momentum pretty much regardless of the market conditions. And again, some people are concerned, quite understandably, that about the actual safety and the guarantee that the investors of the bond voucher are receiving. The two big issuances of the bond voucher by Strips Finance and Izumi Finance that are set to mature in the upcoming months are both over collateralized at the moment at 185% and 253% respectively. And remember, we are still in a bear market. This can mean that both numbers can actually go up a lot, as the market improves, which will be definitely a positive thing for these bonds. The actual report was posted on Solv Twitter earlier this week. So if you're a sucker for numbers and tables, just like me, you probably want to give it a read. All right, that's all from me. Before I move on, just a reminder that we're holding a $100 giveaway today for 10 lucky winners. The giveaway is in Solv tokens, and anyone listening in right now can participate by interacting with the giveaway bot in the rewards channel of the server. Towards the end of the community call, I will announce the draw time about 10 to 15 minutes before the end of the call. So definitely listen intently for that. All right, without further ado, I am incredibly thrilled to introduce to our guest speakers today, Rongkai Wang, the Chief Operations Officer at Parsiq, and Hao Dong, Community Manager at Parsiq. It's a great pleasure to have you both at our 14th community call today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure joining this call.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As you're aware, the structure of this call is quite simple. I'll be posing some silly questions about the Parsiq, and obviously, besides more, the more personally oriented questions, either one of you are welcome to jump in and answer at any time. We're just going to be super chill today. All right, so maybe you guys can kick this off by introducing yourselves. Tell us who you are and what got you into crypto.
Right. Thank you so much, John. So hello everyone. My name is Rongkai, and I'm the CEO of Parsiq. So I've been with them for almost developments, the sort of resource allocations, where my CEO is very focused on the external side of things. So before that, I was actually from Binance. I was in Binance X, and not many people heard of Binance X because Binance X ran the small ticket investments below Binance Labs level. So a lot of people have heard of Binance Labs because a lot of the announcements at that level goes up to bigger ticket kinds of investments. But Binance X really look at the really smaller tickets, runs and investments into really starting technologies and projects. And we were very in touch with a lot of innovators within Web3. We also ran the BSC Accelerator Fund back then, the 100 million. I think they've changed it now. And so that was a really good experience for me before I joined Parsiq. I think one of if you look at my background before I joined Binance or Web3, I was actually from the Singapore Police Force, and I think John asked what bring us to Web3, and specifically for me, I wanted to move away from law enforcement and and basically being in the civil service. I enjoyed that work, but I think it came a time where I thought I needed to spend more time focusing on what's important to me and the people who's important to me. I was working easily 90 hours a week. Not that a startup life is any better, but it just means that I could adapt to different situations. And I was lucky to get into Binance from there, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself in Web3, and I'm here to stay.
Thanks. And what about you, Dong?
Oh, hi guys. I'm Hao Dong, the community manager for Parsiq. I specialize in managing the Chinese community, especially the Chinese speaking community. Yeah. So I joined in back in May 2022, so last month. So what I usually do daily is that I'll be translating content from the English community, and then I post it on Twitter and or other social medias, and also like interact with different people in different servers and to try to spread the word of Parsiq to Chinese community. So that's what I do. So what actually got me to Web3 is back in uni. I actually joined. We and friends actually founded the Finance and Technology Society back in uni. So at that time, we actually start from knowing nothing about finance and technology, and then like we start exploring about fintechs, crypto, and then later on to about DeFi. So I graduated with quite some basics about like how crypto works and how DeFi works, but without much knowledge about Web3. So it's quite recent that I get into the Web3 space. So yeah.
Thank you both for the really cool introduction. I think well, first of all, with Dong, our jobs I think overlap a lot in terms of like promoting the Twitter content, because I'm bilingual myself, so sometimes I do a bit of translation myself, so I can definitely relate to part of your job. So that's really cool. And yeah, well, I think what I find to be really interesting, what Juan said was that the COO really does pretty much everything, right? So I think it was a few weeks ago I was talking to our own COO, and she was like, well, you know, the product and devs and marketing and PR and everything that is visible, that's visible, the world can see and touch. You know, they can directly access the project through. That's like the yang side of it. So there's like an yin and the yang to you know, the both sides to a project, and so these things are yang, which you can see and you can literally touch and see, but like the inside of things are more like COO, how you run things, the methodology. I'm sorry, the methodology. I mean methodology of how you run things, how you distribute your energy into expanding your business. So I think that's really an important part of the job that a lot of people are sort of overlooking. But you really put in the hard work to making the project grow, and I can see that, you know, with my own eyes. You know what our own CEO are doing every day. So that's really cool. All right, so I guess my question. Let's move on to Parsiq, right? So the textbook, the textbook profile for the project is a full suite data network for building the backend of the apps and protocols across all of Web3, right? And I find that to be interesting because data is such an important thing for businesses. Even like this is before the advent of Web3. You think about data analysis, they set up like data analysis and data science majors across, you know, all universities. And then I think there seems to be a mature system in Web3 or an infrastructure for people to collect data and analyze it and then sort of use it to advance their business in Web3. I'm not a data scientist, but I sort of, you know, I can get an inkling of how important that is. Maybe Juan, could you maybe help us understand the importance of data for business in general, and maybe discuss more specifically access and
Yeah, sure. So, I think in Web3, it's not too far with Web2. I think in terms of the need for data, but I think that Web2 world, data is we've gone to because so much data on it. It's big data and how you manipulate it, and technology is spread in that. On blockchain, because of the way data is structured, it is available transparently. This is all way to right now. For example, I think Ethereum might be more now. It's about 5 transactions. I know BNB chain got completed. The if you are using on Web3, for example, your protocol, and it's not as easy as say you build your protocol, smart contracts, you deploy it and just sit there. You want to know, you want to keep track what's going on your protocol, what's going on other people's protocol, what's the consumer behavior like, and there's a lot of other things that people want. So obviously you need to query it, you need to take it from the blockchain and to do your own analysis. I think right now you can do it yourself and you can dedicate dev resources to do it. But you can also find service providers like Parsiq to do that for them. I think the pain points in terms of assessing or using data on blockchain, I think is multifold quite a bit, because it is a long chain. Of course, it's big data level, so to speak, billions of transactions, full of information. There's a lot of information that you don't need. How do you exactly get the information you need specific to what you want? How do you filter out the noise and you get to what you want? A lot of the pain points come into when you get data, whether from service provider on your end, are you able to take exactly what you want? So some service providers, they draw the raw data, they do a bit of alteration to it to make it neater and give it to people. Some devs don't like that, some devs like that, because if you take something that's already changed for you, you might not be able to manipulate it properly after that in a way that you might want, or it might not feed 100% of the kind of data needs that you have. Some service providers actually give it raw format, but how raw is it? It depends. Some devs, again, they like it because it's raw, but in a certain way that they like, so that they can adjust it. And then there could be some other custom work that they need to do after that, or they can do together with the service providers. So where Parsiq comes in is really on these pain points. I think a lot of the use cases, a lot of our data service providers, they are really good at querying from the blockchain. And when you look at the blockchain itself, it's basically historical data that's already happened. But how Parsiq we come in and fill that gap is historical data. Of course, that's something that we can do, but our strength really it comes in the way and our own history, how Parsiq came about, because we actually started from the real time data space. When things happens on the block and they're immediately confirmed on the block, how fast can you gain access to that information? And Parsiq, when we first started, we really poured in all our resources on it. So that's why I think we are one of the unique ones where we can do historical data really well, and we can do real-time data really, really well. I think that's probably where we come in to fill that gap. And one of the big differentiator is also that we recognize what devs want, and we have been really working very closely to many projects and developers at a technical level, and we knew that most of them they don't want to, and they're forced to actually right now work with multiple data service providers, 4 or 5 even, because not everyone can give them 100% of what they want. Some gives really good historical data, some give really good real-time data, some gives altered data that they have to do more changes to it, some gives raw data and they like it, but of course they have to put in some dev work to query it and adjust it after that. So we wanted to be a one-stop solution to all of that. We can do real-time, we can do historical, we can do raw data in a format that people want, and not only that, we can also provide a more customized kind of solution for specific protocols or specific subsets of data that our clients want. I'll probably go on a little bit more about the kind of product differentiations that we have later. But that's in general, really at the highest level, how Parsiq fills in that gap.
Wow, that sounds really. I mean, to me, that sounds really ambitious. A little. I mean, that's like because when you think about the sheer amount of data that exists on blockchain, from like you said, from Genesis to the ongoing, we have thousands of protocols and token transactions every day. The TVL is always changing, and then to collect all those data and then sort of personalize it into the sort of the type or the I guess the way the data is presented, personal or individualized ways that to present those data to the users of Parsiq. I think that's a really, to me, it sounds almost like an impossible mission. But I think what you guys building, if you guys can succeed at this, I think that's really, really impressive. And from my understanding, because I did take a sneak peek at your website earlier, you seem to be building some of the flagship products right now to help you guys achieve that goal. So I see Tsunami API and data lakes, and then there is data hubs. I read about it a little bit. I was still a little confused. So could you maybe go over, maybe just talk to us about the relationships between these products, and like what problems do each one of them solve for the apps or protocols?
Yeah, thank you so much, John. And I think for the benefit of everyone here, us. And our technology, because we started from the real-time space, there's a lot of triggers based kind of technology. If this, then that. If you are a developer, you love it because you can build it, you draw the data, and then obviously you want to automate it so that you don't constantly do it. But we realized that we were also very, very far ahead of the market. The use cases for such a powerful technology were boils down to just a few different kinds of use cases. Of course, for automated trading, a lot of people love that. For notification to yourself or to the community, that a lot of people want to do that. But then we realized that, hey, why not we give literally what the clients want, and therefore we are building a flagship product right now, like giving them exactly what they want, 100%, so they don't have to do further changes on it. Because if it's very broad and it's a very powerful technology, but they're only using it for very smaller subsets of use cases, chances are there may be certain aspects of it that Parsiq couldn't match previously. That's the reason why we evolved it into a new flagship product. And I'll probably run through a little bit with everyone. So what all this is, I like to start with a summary so that you guys can structure your thought around it. There's three main parts to it, and of course, there's future plans to that as well. But the three main parts, first part is what we call a Tsunami API. Tsunami being a Japanese term, of course, for after an earthquake, there's a wave, a huge wave coming from it. That's basically sort of how the API works. It provides an easy access to all the data, both historical and real time, and that's where our strengths are. Historical, anyone can do. Real time, not many people can do that. And if you are a protocol, you might end up going for 3 or 4 different service providers while we want to provide everything at once. Because in a sense, we work backwards. A lot of protocols, they could do historical really well, but they struggle with real time. How fast can they get it? And speed is something that we provide. I think, and right now we're doing alpha testing, and the very first comments for almost everyone is that this is fast because we can get like 6 billion transactions in a second. That's how fast this is.
That's super fast. Yeah. Wow.
Yes. And no worries. Majority of the queries, more than 99%, happens in milliseconds. That we are talking milliseconds. You query and you get it. even before your finger leaves the mouse button. That's what we want to do, because that's our technology. And that's basically the Tsunami API. We give you easy access to all the data. You can do whatever you want with it. You can then adjust it behind the scenes, and Des loves it because they're building usually something specific. They don't want other people to come and mess it up in that sense. So we give you easy access, but we refine it further. So that's where the data lakes and data hubs come in. I think data lakes is what we are doing by creating specialized and custom tailored lakes. Well, we have to define lakes first. So what we mean by lake is really think of it as an extension of Tsunami API. So Tsunami API is sort of like, if you imagine it as entire pipeline pumping huge volumes of data to you, then data lakes are sort of like a space where you pour the data in, and specific data, in a sense a bit filtered now, where users can query the data specific to a protocol, specific to the area that they want. You can query and you can manipulate and you can adjust within that space. So that's why we call it a data lake. And those data lakes will also refine the Tsunami API data, because we provide custom tailored data for each protocol. So each of the data lakes, we'll have multiple lakes. Each lake will be tailored to a particular protocol or DApps or whatever subsets of data that user wants. And this is purely customized. And in fact, protocols can request to have something that's customized with something customized with us. It allows data to be made even more easily available in that sense, and manipulate. And so if you think of it that way, Tsunami API is like the pipeline pumping to you. And if you want something specific, we pour it into a space. There's the data lake for you to more easily manipulate and refine it. What's data hubs? Data hubs, think of it as a data storage solution for your own custom tailored data of the DApps and protocols. So think of it as the next extension to the data lakes. So every data lakes will have its unique data hubs. Obviously, data hubs are not as open or expensive as data lakes, because they contain only the data specific to the particular DApps or protocols. For a data lake, sometimes they may have data from other parts because you need it. For example, if you're building your own protocol, and some parts of your protocol in your smart contracts, they make references to, for example, Uniswap or other data points from other places, then your data lake will, of course, contain those data available that you need for the whole thing to function and for you to manipulate your own data. So that's a summary of the three core products that we are going for. I think we have like deeper product plans in future, but when this flagship product is launching soon, actually, is scheduled to be out next month. I think this flagship product will obviously upgrade and bring the entire Parsiq offerings from a kind of trigger-based product for most protocols to really something that's above everyone what they want and way faster than what they imagine. And honestly, a one-stop solution, because now they ideally don't have to go to 3, 4, 5 service providers anymore. They're free to get engage other service providers for certain parts of the services as well. It's always through the protocols. But what we want to do is be that's what they need to do what they need to do.
I see. So just to so not really three independent or standalone products. So storage and I guess provision service. So they kind of like intertwine and work together, because the way I understand it is like Tsunami's API. That's like the purpose, is to allow people to kind of track metrics like TVL, liquidity, historical data like token prices, right, and user balances and stuff. But like it's the data lakes that actually lets projects or individual users to sort of define what kind of, like, more specifically, what kind of data or stats that they need, and maybe data. And I'm sorry, could you maybe talk a little more about how data hubs fit into this? I didn't follow. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No worries, no worries. So there's a lot of things that you mentioned. I think Tsunami API actually by itself is already a full suite solution. Most protocols, when they connect to Tsunami API, they can do whatever they want because it is a pipeline of data to them in the fastest ways possible, both historical and real time, and of course in as raw format as they want it to be. But certain protocols, they may want something really specific, something customized because of how they operate. That's where the data lakes come in. And data lakes are always customized for every protocol that works with us. And we will also provide customized data for the popular ones, even if they are not our client. We are going to provide the data lakes for them. So hypothetically, for example, Uniswap, everyone wants Uniswap data. We can create a data lake for them based on certain parameters that the community or some of our clients are actually interested in. And obviously, how we price it, it will be on our website soon. But we want it to be a kind of mix and match. Tsunami API is like you get it. So the public data lakes, you get it for as part of the package. If you want something customized, you get, it's like an add-on. It's like your phone plan. You want something that's a bit more specific. You just pay a little bit more and you get it from us because we're going to customize it for you. And I think Data Hub, just think of it as data storage for the specific data lake.
Okay, I see. That was a lot more clear. That was great. And by the way, I really love the all the nature-inspired namings for the products. As I'm actually an outdoor person myself, so I really dig that. I can imagine, like, how like I think all like great products get their inspirations from nature in one way or another, because that's how you extract all the wisdom from the nature. So that was that was really cool.
Thank you so much. It's something that we thought of. In fact, like my CTO, he was in America. He was attending ETH Denver, and then he was chatting with a lot of people. And I think the idea suddenly came to him because he was trying to explain like what's this whole thing all about. And then it suddenly struck him as easy to imagine data as like water, and if that happens, how's everything going to be like? And we want it to be what's the biggest push of water, and tsunami came in and tsunami stopped.
Exactly. Wow, that was really cool. Which kind of reminds me of Dao De Jing, this Chinese philosophy. Like, it really treats like water as the supreme form of energy, in the universe, in the cosmos, which is sort of like equivalent of what data is to the business, right? Of all businesses, you can manipulate it, you can define it, you can sort of put it in the frames and kind of serve you in a way that you want. That's exactly what we're doing with water, right? So that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so I will digress a little bit here. Our $100 giveaway is up for grabs now. I just told I just let my teamwork know to open up the rewards channel. So if you're listening in right now, we are for the next 10 minutes. You can interact with the giveaway bot for a chance to win the $100 giveaway. All right, so let's move on. One last question about this product. It's really cool, but I'm just curious, like, what's exactly the timeline for the development and the release of the flagship products, and when will the MVP launch be?
Yeah, sure. So a timeline is actually what we're going to do now. I think I mentioned earlier is that MVP will be launched next month. Fingers crossed. I hope that there's no delay, but we already announced it to the community as well. Like next month, it's going to be launched, and so far it's on track. That's something that I hope my CTO doesn't kill me for saying that, because he doesn't like a lot of pressure. But as far as I understand it, so far it's on track. So if there's anyone, especially from the Parsiq community, listening in, this is something that they can take away from as well. But what we're going to do is that Tsunami API and of course data lakes, they're going to come out together, and we're going to continue building more and more data lakes after the launch of the MVP. Data hubs, obviously they're tied to the data lakes. It might take a little bit longer for some of them to be consolidated as well. But obviously all of this takes a lot of resources, and we are pouring resources into this whole thing. And I think what we are looking at is that we have an entire kind of pipeline, a roadmap all the way to 2023 and beyond. We're going to come out with SDKs. We want to have development runs even. We are thinking of building a sort of like a aggregate blockchain data explorer, which right now it has a name called Atlas. And we eventually want to provide, this is really longer plans in the future, of course, but we want to be provide a platform for protocols for people coming to Web3 space, where they're building on the Web3 space, a kind of technology that enables them to build both off-chain and on-chain, which we call Parsiq hybrid. At the end of the day, as a data service provider, we recognize that, of course, in the ideal world, you want Web3 to be decentralized. But in the realistic world, a lot of things might have to be centralized somewhere. Even data storage is centralized somewhere. And that's the thing that we want to give protocols the kind of flexibility. What sort of things do they decide to keep on chain, and what sort of things do they think they want to put it off chain, just so that the whole thing actually becomes a more efficient, a better kind of service that they want to provide. So that's really in the longer term kind of project that we are looking on, and that's why we are sort of like the backend for Web3, and that's why it is called a Parsiq hybrid. I'm just like giving a very broad kind of summary in terms of our roadmap. I think one part that people might be thinking as well is that, oh, this is all like really interesting, very strong for a kind of B2B entities to entities kind of offerings. But what about for any layman users? Are you able to tap on the strengths of it? Actually, you can. So what we are going to do is we're going to have an interface on our landing page free for anyone that they can tap onto that's blockchain. It's basically like a place for people to play around, manipulate some of the data, and as the data coming out, the public ones, obviously, anyone can come in and they can see what's going on in easily under format that you can understand what's going on for certain chains as well. So it was our vision of being the blockchain data explorer.
Sweet. And I understand it. It's a utility token, right? It's not just like a token for a speculative token. You can actually use it as a part of the service, as a part of the product, right?
Yes.
So how does it work? Yeah.
So the utility of the token obviously is to gain access to our services. So right from the bat, when we launch with us being on Web3 and us being a Web3 project, basically people pay for our services using our token, and we are building more utility into it, of course, as well. We actually have a second product called the IP Protocol. It's actually a renting service for both tokens and NFTs. I wouldn't go too much into that because that's a separate topic from today's discussion. But obviously, our PRQ token is on it for people to rent. So be thinking, well, why rent when you need to, or like, how does this whole thing work? When utility tokens come in, and it's the same for a lot of other projects. I think for the audience, especially if you yourself have a project which is utility token, this might be interesting to you. It actually originated from a problem that we face ourselves. We realized that it's great, people pay for our services, etc., using our token price go up, utility is there, but chances are there will be people with more of your token than they need. Because they're believers in a lot of sense, etc. And then there'll be on the other side of the spectrum, people who might not be able to afford for whatever reason buying your tokens, but they do want access to your services. So how do we match that? Those people that has more than they need and those people that doesn't have enough. And renting comes into the picture. It's the same case in the real world, and it's the same case on Web3. And we provided a platform for people to actually rent for to gain access to our services. Obviously, that's cheaper for the person who's renting, but those holders that has more than enough that they need, they gain some form of passive income. And the best thing about it is deflationary. The whole thing, we are not generating new tokens from it. Everything is from the profits of the protocol. And obviously, the profits of the protocol is within this number of PRQ that when people are paying for services in the token. So it creates a virtuous cycle where the utility of the token just keep going up, and we are reaching out to bigger sectors of Web3 that we have never been able to reach out to before. So that's really a summary of right now the kind of utilities for it. And obviously, we are also expanding upon it with our new flagship product as well. And of course, more details of that will come as well.
Wow, that's really cool. I really like how the PRQ token fit into both the business flywheel and the finance flywheel of Parsiq. It's not just something people can hold and speculate on. It's actually a part of the product they can use. And as the project grows and more people uses the service, this will give more value, right, to the PRQ token. It's really cool.
Precisely. Yeah, that's something that we really want to reward our like those who believe in us. It's at the end of the day, the utility token is at the core of it. It's still a utility token for our platform. But there are people who buys it in large amounts because they believe in the project. And I think the whole point is to provide more and more utility to it. And obviously, they'll generate more and more demand for it.
I see. Well, that was amazing. Well, that was really interesting and informative. I think Parsiq is definitely onto something here. But it's something really, really big, and I think you guys have a really cool vision, and most importantly, a well thought out roadmap on how to achieve that vision, right? So, and personally, I really can't wait to see your product launches in the next month and more in the second half of this year and maybe next year. And really, I wish you guys the best.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for PRQ as well, if you guys are interested, earlier John already mentioned it's on Coinbase, but we are also on a number of exchanges. So if you are looking at purely the DeFi space, we are on PancakeSwap, we are on Uniswap. So you can easily get it on ETH, you can get it on BNB chain. But I think the key exchanges is on Crypto.com, it's on Huobi, it's on KuCoin, OKX, CoinMetro, Gate.io, MEXC Global, and BTSE. So a lot of them are Europeans, but there's because we are a European company. But I think most of the major exchanges have already listed us, just to give you guys an idea of where can you actually find us.
Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds like a whole bunch of decentralized and centralized exchanges that people can buy and trade the PRQ tokens. So yeah, definitely stay on top of that and check out Parsiq's website for more details on where those tokens are listed. And I'm sure, my personal, me included, I've learned a lot about the business model. I think it really provides real value to the users. And then, linking the value of the token to the utility of the product itself, it's a really smart move. So that was great. That was great.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for coming, guys. It's a real pleasure to host you.
It's a pleasure coming on board and having you as a host. You've been extremely intelligent and asking really good questions and follow-up questions as well. It's a pleasure to actually share about us to so many people in the audience. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a good day or have a good night wherever you are. I know Juan is in New York right now, right? You're still in New York, right?
Yes, and today is probably the last day of the NFT NYC. For any of you guys who are around, feel free to reach out to me and we can actually meet up for tea or coffee. That's fine with me. I should have some time today and tomorrow as well, actually.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.